Good afternoon. I'd like to call the Public Safety Committee meeting for March 4th to order. I'm Stephen Havey, your committee chair, and first off, we'd like to have roll call.
Mr. Havey.
Here.
Mr. Whitney.
Here.
Mr. Barnes.
Present.
Mr. Bissett.
Here.
Mr. Healy.
Here.
Mrs. Ricketts-Swales. Mr. Stockin.
Here.
6 present, 1 absent, and we have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like the approval of the minutes, please, for February 4. I'm looking for a motion.
Second.
Thank you. And a second? Was there 2? Did you catch 2?
I did not catch who number 2 was.
Who was? Phil Stockton was
Gotcha.
second. Okay, thank you. Any discussion on the minutes? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Those are approved. Thank you.
Did you approve the agenda?
I don't believe I did.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
I'll move the agenda there for you.
That's excellent, and thank you for reminding me. I need a second for the
Whitney,
agenda.
a second.
Thank you. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There, very good. Out of order. Thank you. Next up, we have our acting district attorney, Mr. Peter Degnan, sir, bringing to us the sparkle today.
Say I was very excited to be here would be an understatement.
We're excited to see you.
Submitted the numbers. They are pretty self-explanatory. We're indicting people like crazy, which hopefully will make us safer. And I'd love to stick around for a long time, but we got a grand jury going right now, so I had to step away for that. But no, the numbers are going up. We're getting things going. We did put a request to fill for a confidential secretary and legislative verdict that is in our budget. So
Outstanding.
I specifically asked because I knew you would ask, and I would. I'm like, I know she's going to ask. So yes, it is in our budget. So
Well, if legislative verdict didn't ask, I was going to because it's not filled in on the form, but thank you.
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
First of all, are there any questions on the district attorney's report? Okay, I guess we can go directly to the request to fill for the confidential secretary. I'm looking for a motion.
Healy will move it.
Thank you. And a second? Thank you. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is approved. If there's nothing else from you, sir. you
We
may-
do have a vacant spot that we have. Some people have expressed some interest, so we're going to talk to them. So that's good news too.
Excellent.
So it's all, as you know, it's all good news. So
I got a
Go ahead, Mr. Healy.
comment, and if you'd be so kind to take us back to your predecessor, Mr. Jones, who is currently the county court judge. I've been out in the public quite a bit here passing petitions. I won't say more than that about it, but I've had a lot of kind words expressed about what a fine job he did in his role as a district attorney, and also hopes for him and best of wishes from many public members in the future as in his new role. So if you'd pass that along,
I will
appreciate it.
definitely pass it along. I always only hear good things about Judge Jones, and I only hear good things when he was a DA. So I think the public appreciated his hard labors as well as I did. And yeah, he's a very wonderful person. I think everyone can agree on that.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, go back and dispense justice.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Okay, up next we have our public defender, Mr. J.R. Santana Carter. Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Board. I see it's a packed house, so I'll be brief. Really not much to add to the report submitted. The numbers are consistent with last year and with the historical trend of there's always litigation in family court and criminal defense. So if there's any questions, I'll entertain them. If not, I probably will have something for action next month.
Okay, questions for our public defender? Anybody? Okay. Seeing none, I guess we're done. We appreciate everything you do, sir.
Thank you.
And,
Appreciate it.
Anything else for us?
Nothing further at this time. Thank
See you
you.
next month.
See you next month.
Thanks so much. Okay, next we have our new conflict defender, Mr. Michael Reagan. First time up. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, and good afternoon to the board. It's a pleasure to be here.
We have your report, and once again, your department is a little bit of a mystery all the time. We know what it does, but having no last year figures, we don't have anything to go by as to whether you're busier or not from last year. So is there anything you'd like to highlight, anything you'd like to say about your new position, sir?
I would say that the breakdown that we submitted to the legislature, to the board, is self-explanatory, more or less. I can get you prior reports if you wish to compare the numbers. The one thing I would like to highlight today is that we've made a request to fill a position for a confidential secretary. The circumstances are that the position is fully funded by ILS, and I've confirmed that with Charity Wallace in the Treasurer's office and also Amanda Northrup in the PD's office. So it's 100% ILS funded. Our current personnel situation is that we have one part-time office aide filled and one legal services case manager filled. The office aide is anticipated to be leaving in about 2 months. She's a student, and her semester is over with. So I do need this position to be filled, and ask
Okay.
for your votes on that. Thank you.
Okay, I don't think that's in our packet.
Well, I have it here. Lori
do?
Drake gave me a copy of it, but it was my understanding it was to be submitted to you for consideration today.
It is not in our packet. However, if nobody minds, we probably can take that from you and work from it, if that, does anybody care if we
Right.
do that?
Mr. Reagan's new in this position, and he's probably not completely familiar with the procedure, so I think we ought to give him a little latitude here.
I agree.
And approve it pending further approval by the county administrator and the county attorneys.
Would it be okay if you brought that?
Sure. It's been signed off by the county administrator and by the personnel.
Okay. I think this
Sorry
is,
it didn't get to you.
No,
That
it's-
was my mistake.
So it has been signed off.
yeah, I think it's in order. It's just that it didn't show up in our packet. So I think we're perfectly fine to consider this. This is an existing position, annual salary 43 to 66,000, cost of benefits 18 to 27,000. This is funded 100% by state, and I will pass this down this way. If you guys would like to look at that, we'll give you a minute.
Mr. Chairman, Administrator Knapp is currently tied up with some additional information. She is watching the meeting, did ask that I request, she has approved this and is requesting that you vote to fill this position.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll move it, then, Mr. Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Second.
You're going to move it?
And Phil will second.
Okay. Let's give it just a second here for it to circulate down, and then we can have discussion. Okay, everybody's seen it up here. Do you have discussion on this? It's been moved and seconded.
It's our normal caveat on any of these positions are funded by the state, that if the funding goes away, then we will re-examine those positions and where we wish to keep those and fund those ourselves. Is that correct?
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, is that correct?
That is correct, sir. I'm sorry. I was entertained elsewhere. Okay. Okay, this has been moved and seconded. I see no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that is carried. Anything else, Mr. Reagan, sir?
No, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
to the
much,
whole
and we
board.
welcome you. Okay. Up next, we have the Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Scott Golden.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Okay, so
We have our report submitted to the board, and I guess I'll cover the key points, the highlights. As always, we're doing all of our standard stuff, planning, communicating, training. As far as training as highlights, one of the things that happened was we had to cancel our EOC 101. Our state partner became ill, but we're looking to do a reschedule for that. Hopefully, it's tentative right now for the 31st of this month, and there'll be a short tabletop exercise for that. So once that's confirmed, I'll send that back out. Under education, fire, and EMS, we have the basic wildland fire training and short track coming up here in just a couple weeks. As always, working on CMEs, continuing medical education units, AED and CPR. As always, it's an ongoing process. We're always teaching CPR to the county. Community services had requested it. Bonnie and Mandy took care of that and got that done. EMS, busy as always. Dr. Farney's been great. Office hours with agencies. She's been attending all the EMS meetings and such. Standard stuff. Towards the bottom of the report under trainings, we had quite a few during the month of February, which was great. February 4th was New York Responds with our state partner from Dishes. Ryan came down, did that training. February 11th, Tier 1 refresher at NYSEMA at the conference, which was great. We got that accomplished. February 20th, we're continuing to train on our DLAN system. We did a flash flood training scenario, which was good because that might be one of the most prevalent ones we'd have occur here in the county. As far as BTURC, I don't want to steal the sheriff's thunder, but that was a great course. That was about last week over at Alfred, 24 to 26. Did all 3 days. We had a couple of our other staff from our office take the training. Great feedback for it. The instructors were excellent, the information, and we're going to leverage our newfound knowledge to continue to help, make the county safer and help out with the team. As far as Tier 3, that was last week. I was over at the training in Alfred, so Bonnie handled that. So hopefully most of you legislators were here for that. The makeup training date, I'll skip ahead a little bit, is tonight. So we're going to run a makeup session. I have about a dozen pre-registered right now that are supposed to show up, so I have room for more. But if anybody missed it, it'll be at the Crossroads tonight from 6 to 8, and I'll be there in person for that one. So the Crossroads tonight from 6 to 8. Other training I want to mention, a 4-hour block occurred today, and JR was there with me too, and several others. That's the mental health first aid put on by my good partner, Mike Midoff, Veteran Service. The other portion will be tomorrow, and then we'll become a certified mental health first aid responder for veterans, specifically for veterans. It's good for 3 years, so it's good training, good program. Several meetings under meetings here. A lot of our standard stuff. However, Emergency Preparedness Partners Group, that was our quarterly meeting. That went very well. That continues to grow. Response and attendance, there's several listed here. One of the interesting ones, January 29th, there was a structure fire in Andover. And as we know, we had several bouts of cold weather, and we're ready for winter to be done with. Unfortunately, the guy was trying to thaw his frozen pipes out. He accidentally ignited his floor, but it was minimal damage contained to like the joist area, the supports in the floor. So no further issue with that. As mentioned previously, the NYSEMA conference in Syracuse, that was 10 to 12 February. It was a great event, well attended, and got some good information there. Last thing I want to highlight, February 18th, participated in National Grid tabletop exercise over in Ellicottville. We were invited to that. It was a big exercise, so that's another good thing to partake in. So again, always training and going forward, continuing to develop our training calendars going forward and look for opportunities. Subject to your questions.
Okay, any questions for the director?
Okay. And then I do have one other item that wasn't on the original agenda we'd like to introduce for awareness, and I think there was some previously. So I'm going to have Bonnie speak to that because she's more the subject matter expert on that, so.
Excellent, thank you.
For those that, you want to introduce her, because probably there's a few people listening that might not know who Bonnie is, or there might be a couple new legislators that haven't.
Okay, yep, good point. Thank you, Legislator Healy. So this is Bonnie Van Housen. She's Deputy Director for OEM for our office and also the EMS Coordinator, Emergency Medical Services Coordinator. So she'd like to speak to you briefly about a interesting topic that you need to be aware of. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Thank you. So the EMS Advisory Board met in February, and they discussed a proposal in the New York State executive budget that would eliminate the Medicaid crossover payments from for ambulance services. So currently, when someone is Medicare and Medicaid qualified, and they get both, Medicare pays 80% and Medicaid picks up the other 20%. They would like to cut that 20% out of the budget so they wouldn't, so ambulances wouldn't receive that. This would be detrimental to our system, whether it's a commercial or volunteer that charge, because it's going to cut a lot of money out of their budgets. So we're looking that, we are wondering if the legislators can do a letter of opposition against this to the governor, and also take it to NISAC, which I've already talked to you about, but that NISAC needs to be on board. NYSVERA, which is the New York State Volunteer Ambulance Association, and Onion, which is the commercial ambulance across the state, or across the state? Across Union, Onion is across the state for the commercial agencies. They are all on board with this, and they are lobbying and going to everybody, but we need NISAC to give us that united front to get that out of the budget.
Excellent. Any questions for Bonnie on this before we move forward with next steps? Okay. So what you would like us to do, you would like the committee to write a letter to oppose this to the state of New York?
To the state of New York, and then also take it to NISAC.
Okay. And I refer to the county administrator. There's no reason why we can't do such a thing, is there?
You're asking for just a letter? So a lot of times we do a resolution in opposition of legislation or in support.
There it
Can we-
is.
okay.
There it is. This is why we have smart folks.
And I happen to have an MOE, but it's not been put out yet, that we can go through there.
We can
So-
get it taken care of, and Bonnie, if you could send that to myself and Allison, we could maybe even make sure we have a cow next week. We could probably speed it up a little rather than waiting until next month.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So I
right.
should go to all our statewide electeds also, and
Yes, and there's a letter in the NYSVERA, they sent out a letter that I sent out to all of the towns, that they actually have a preempted letter that they can just fill in their information, and it asks them to send it to all of their legislation as well.
Okay, very good. Then at the cow, we will put together something so that we can have a resolution opposing this.
Thank
And
you.
I think that that's good, and thank you for bringing this to our attention. I had heard about this before. Mr. Scott Lamphere had brought it to my attention, and I have already brought it to NISAC's attention. What I heard was that they may discuss it. So this is not the traction I was looking for, but let's get a resolution going, and Legislator Whitney and I will be going up to NISAC, and we can push this a little harder.
Thank you.
And thank you for being here to fill us in for that.
Yes.
Okay. We have up next Probation Director Scott Grentier. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you?
Super.
I have a couple action items through MOEs today, but I first wanted to just reference the monthly report, which is quite standard. And I've said it many times here, I'll say it again, there's behind the numbers, there's a tremendous staff working hard on everything they do down there. And I appreciate them greatly. Once again, our pretrial numbers are the heaviest workload. That's been consistent for the last, year and a half. Answer any questions you may have on the report.
Okay. Any questions for the director? Looks like we're good with the report. Want to go to the MOE
Sure.
or MOEs?
The first MOE I'm presenting today for consideration is the authorizing a renewal agreement with Exxon Enterprises Incorporated, who is the parent company of our tasers, which are in our department's possession right now. This contract, I'll say the current contract was due to expire in August of 2026. And with my departure, changes in the department, I felt it was good to get ahead of the next future cycle of this. And I think we've tackled two issues here. Number one is under previous purchase agreements, we actually did purchase the units, which means we own them. This is now a renewal for a lease agreement, and you're talking with the county attorney, county administration. I think leasing is the best way to go. Other departments across the state have gone to lease agreements, and it's much better for a lot of reasons, but mainly at the end of the contract, you don't end up with outdated tasers that you can't do anything with. Under this agreement, Axon is taking back all of our antique tasers. We're going to get the updated to Taser 10, which is consistent with law enforcement across the area. And I think it's, although there is a price increase, along with it comes a lot of benefits that's going to be helpful for the department moving forward. So I'd ask for permission for that to move forward today.
Okay, I see that it has been budgeted, so that's not an issue for this. So I'll take a motion.
Stocking.
Thank you. Second?
Whitney?
Thank you. Discussion?
Yes. Is there a shelf life on tasers?
Yes.
Figured there was, but
Yes, and I really can't, not as far as any specific scientific criteria. Axon is the cornerstone on this, and they come out with new versions. We have 4 in the department that are unusable and should not be in circulation anywhere. Our current ones still have value, and this agreement also brings those. To give you an answer, I can't say 1 or 2 years, but we're on Taser 10 in this upgrade. I'd say over the course of my career, it's been about 10 years. They've gone 10 different models.
yeah. More for the viewing public also, so they understand that these do get upgraded a lot and the service life doesn't last
Correct.
nearly as long as they should.
Correct. The warranty, the service life, and also the training with each of them. I think a
Each
lease
up-
agreement really benefits us in the training department
Does
as
each
well.
update require more training?
Yes, this one will.
Yeah.
But it'll be consistent with other law enforcement agencies, which we can partner with in knock out training as a group rather than individual departments.
Right, thank you.
Yep.
Other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried.
Thank you very much. The
Next up.
second one is a request for resolution authorizing an agreement with Apex Polygraph Services. We are entering a new chapter in the future in the near future, for the possibility of polygraphs with domestic violence offenders. The way we're starting this out is this would be fully paid for by the offender. We are looking for permission to enter into contract with Apex to start this process.
Okay, looking for a motion.
Whitney will move.
Thank you, and a second.
Haley will second.
Thank you. Discussion? I find this intriguing that the offender is going to pay for this. I like that. Any other conversations on this at all? Okay. Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. What else can we do for you?
I just want to give a couple quick updates. The Stop DBR program, I know Jessica and Tim and Scott planning for the mock crash event for 2026 in May. We'll have more to report on that in April at the public safety meeting. And my next month is going to be a lot of just tying down loose ends. I think the many facets of the department, including financials, will be well buttoned down by the end of March and for a smooth transition. So,
Very good. Looking forward to it. What else can we do for you?
That's all.
All right. I thank you very much. Tell your team thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Up next, we have our sheriff, Mr. Scott Cicerello. Good afternoon, Sheriff.
Good afternoon. Got a little cold, so you have to bear with me here.
Okay. A lot of
Yeah,
that
my
going around.
report. Any questions on my report? A few items of note. As Scott Golden had mentioned, we did host the ATAG Basic Turk and Advanced Turk course at the Allegheny County Lake Lodge last week. It was well attended and well received. Is a tremendous asset to our community. It was all paid for under the Department of Homeland Security grant. You will also see that we have implemented the Handle with Care program through our dispatch center. As you see, the program allows families and caregivers to voluntarily provide important information about loved ones that may have autism, developmental disabilities, cognitive impairment, medical conditions, age-related challenges, or other special needs. That information is placed into a CAD screen, so when there's a call at that address, dispatchers immediately can know that we need to advise first responders that there may be a concern. I will tell you, of all of the programs that we've initiated in the office since I've been there, this by far has had the most positive response from the general public. This is something that's a tremendous benefit. I wish we had done it sooner, but I'm very proud of this program. Lastly, you will see that we also hosted a police supervisor course in conjunction with the Alfred State Police Academy. Attending were members of our office. Chief Dustin Birch and Under Sheriff Walt Magney were the instructors. Excellent training, excellent program. And the benefit here is that we didn't have to send our supervisors hours away to have the training. Typically, we'd have to send them to Rochester, Buffalo, or even Syracuse or further. We have the benefit of hosting that training, so it's a way for us to cut down costs. That's all I have for my report. Any questions?
Yep. Questions for the sheriff?
Supervisor training course you mentioned, that was open to other agencies also, or no?
It was. There were, I think I listed all of the attendees in the press release. Multiple other agencies, including the Bolivar Police Department, Town of Friendship Police Department, Angelica PD, Olean Police Department, SUNY Alfred, DEC Forest Rangers, and then we had 3 attendees as well. As you're aware, that New York State Department of Criminal Justice Services requires every supervisor within 1 year of appointment to have this training.
So it was a benefit to all our municipalities to have law enforcement agencies and another service we provide for our towns and villages.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Mr. Burdick.
Sheriff, I'd just like to commend you on the Handle with Care program. I think it's a wonderful program that you're providing, and I just want to thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mr. Stockin?
Yeah, I noticed in the report that there's 9 ICE residents and 10 other federal. I had a letter from a constituent in the past week. Just curious, what are the other federal, and are all the ICE this ongoing immigration issue?
Yes, ICE are people who are being detained based on their legal status in this country. As far as the others, the federal marshals, those are people that are in custody under federal charges, and they're just being housed at our facility.
Regardless of their immigration status?
Correct.
Okay. And how long do the ICE people usually stay here?
I would defer that to my jail team, but it's typically a week, I would say, is the average stay. They come and go quite frequently.
Good, I just wanted to make sure I was communicating accurately to my...
Yeah, you are.
We are not one of those hide them forever.
No, that's not happening.
Nasty situations, quote
No.
unquote. So, thank you.
Okay, I want to compliment you again, as Mrs. Burdick said, on the Handle with Care program. Where do you come up with these ideas for these programs? Is this something that's done someplace else?
I can't take credit for this. This is my staff, my team. This was Lieutenant Graves and his staff. Matt Evans was involved in this, Dustin Zajac from our communications, our supervisory dispatchers, they were all involved in this. This is something that's implemented in other counties, and they decided to adopt it here. They brought it to me, and it just makes sense. So I can't take credit for it. I've got a great team. I'm very proud of this, though. This is one of the best things that we've done in the recent years of our office.
Yeah, outstanding. Compliments to all that were involved in that.
Chairman?
Yes.
I
go
can
ahead.
definitely see where that would be very helpful for the responding officers to any situation.
It really is.
It's a great, it really is a great idea and
You see the
concept.
news, you see especially the mental health incidents. It's really a benefit for law enforcement if they know that that's the situation that they're walking into. But this is also a benefit for EMS and fire as well.
Yes.
If we find that there's someone disabled in a house and there's a fire in that house, that information that this person may not be able to exit that structure, it benefits all of our emergency services. It's really, really a great program, and it's a tremendous asset to the
Yeah,
county.
definitely.
Okay. Any other questions for the sheriff?
I just was wondering
Go ahead, sir.
if he wanted to introduce his team he brought with him today, or if not.
Well, I will certainly do that in a minute. I have something I'd like to address, but if we can go through the business first, if that's all right, if that pleases the chair.
Let's do it.
First thing I have is an MOE. It is to accept a grant award. It's requesting acceptance and establishment of a capital project for the appropriation of New York State DISH's ESI Net Readiness Grant Program. The state budget appropriated $40 million in grants to support improvements in readiness. Our share of this grant is $689,655. This is a new grant, and there is no share.
Okay, looking for a motion.
Whitney will move.
Thank you. In a second.
What's that?
Thank you. Discussion on this. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried. Next up.
I have another MOE for authorization to apply for a grant. This is the Small Rural Tribal Body-Worn Camera Program through the Bureau of Justice. The overall objective of this grant is to allow agencies to purchase or lease body-worn cameras and expenses related to the comprehensive body-worn camera program. The total funding is unavailable at this time. The maximum amount awarded per agency is $2,000 per camera purchased. This is a one-to-one. Now, applying for this grant doesn't mean that we're going to necessarily utilize this grant. We are also looking for other areas of funding that may be able to fully fund these cameras. But since there was a time requirement on this, we at least wanted to apply in the event that we cannot find other funding sources.
Excellent. I'm looking for a motion.
Whitney will move.
And a second, please.
Second.
Thank you, sir. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried.
Lastly, I have an RFP to fill a position of accountant in my office. It is in the budget, Jan. As you know, our accountant left our position for another job. We have promoted our senior account clerk typist into the junior acting accountant role. She is learning in that position. Our idea here is to share a full-time accountant with another county office where they will split 50% of the time with us and 50% of the time with the other office. I have discussed this with the treasurer, I've discussed it with the county administrator and director of HR, and they have all signed off on it.
Okay, a motion.
Whitney will move.
Thank you,
Kelly will
Matt.
second.
Thank you. Discussion on this. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Whoop, I'm sorry, Mr. Barnes. Apologies.
My question is, you're going to be sharing with another department. What's the other department?
Probation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? And that is carried. Okay, Sheriff.
I have one more thing I'd like to address. Legislator Healy mentioned that I have my full entourage here. I don't typically bring backup. I don't need backup. I brought them here because when we leave here today, I want to make sure that there are no questions left from this board about the operations of our office. If there are any questions regarding any area of operations, I would like to have them addressed before we leave today. So moving into this issue, I would like to address an email sent on Friday by Legislator Healy regarding my office and personally attacking my integrity. As a public servant and elected official, I understand complaints. It's part of the job. I don't take it personal. I come in here and I'm always transparent. If you address a subject with me, I might not agree with you, but I'm always honest with you in our exchange, and if I don't have the information, I get it for you. I've always been open and transparent with members of this board. I take it very personal that a member of this board would personally attack me and not have the courage to do it to my face. So although I found his email, Legislator Healy's email, difficult to follow, I would like to address the email and break it down to each individual area so you can understand our areas of operations. First, I would like to read the email to you. This was sent on Friday afternoon at 10:30 a.m. From Legislator Healy. As you all see, the county jail population is down. While the recent tour of the public safety facilities was very informative, I believe the sheriff could have been misleading us about his request for manpower as it pertains to maintaining New York State docks minimum staffing requirements, as it seems I hear more and more reports of deputies who appear to be on patrol. The history of most sheriff's departments, and perhaps government overall, especially in blue states, quotes, nobody in the public sector ever wants to make cuts or downsize, but usually finds a need to expand, etc. We don't have the population or tax base to justify or support any of the expansion of any services, especially non-mandated services. When we toured the 911 center at the jail, you will remember that one workstation and operator was dedicated to state police only. When we took over the dispatching for the state police, Sheriff's Lieutenant Dan Hanchett and State Police Zone Commander assured us that there would not be any associated costs, or a minimum at best, and that it would impress police services as the state police would be able to put more patrols on the road instead of having a person handling radio calls. The end result was the state police almost immediately locked their front doors at the Amity Barracks, and all public line calls to their landline were diverted to Troop A headquarters in Batavia, or 911. Most of the time, the people in Batavia aren't even familiar with our county or its emergency services. If you go to the barracks, there's a telephone mounted to the outside of the wall by the front door. You can pick that up, talk to a trooper, but it's also answered by troop headquarters in Batavia. Doesn't matter how many state police might be inside the Amity Barracks, it goes to Batavia. On a sidebar, usually the sheriffs want control of the police dispatching because the control gets what calls as they are elected, etc., especially if they have a road patrol or would like to have a road patrol. As I understand, the state police commander at the time, at least in part, was promoted for that efficiency savings and costs, while our costs here locally have continued to grow. As Dwight Fanton famously said once before he left us, the public safety facility has been both but a white elephant since we bought it, and I'm not in favor of throwing any more hood money after bad, and we have one in Batavia. We have more than enough vehicles and personnel to handle the transport of our prisoners to other facilities. Nothing until the jail bond or one of the others is paid off, but we should be planning now and not putting any more money into that building than we absolutely need to. The state police was originally founded because the counties didn't have enough resources and couldn't afford to provide them. We should only provide those services that we can afford and not everyone wants. The only exception is positive economic development and smart growth, which is an investment in our future. We both have our tax base and sales tax. Positive economic development begets development. Remember, we are the mom and dads in this chapter of the story. I left out the part where he says, we have more than enough vehicles and personnel to handle transport of our prisoners to other facilities until we build a new jail the size that we need. So I'd like to address each one of these parts individually. The jail population in Allegheny County fluctuates weekly, varies from week to week by 10 to 20 inmates at times. On average, our numbers have steadily risen and continue to rise since COVID. We were over 80 a few weeks ago. As I write this, we're at 63. It's cyclical. First, all promotions to deputy sheriff are promoted from within the jail. All of them. Every single one. As such, when one is promoted, that position must be filled with another correction officer. We are mandated by the New York State Commission of Correction, not DOCS, as mentioned in the email. I have not asked to raise the budget for personnel. I'm operating within the budget that was passed by this board. We started the year with 8 deputy vacancies. We have 5 deputies that are eligible for retirement this year. If we do not act to start filling these vacancies now, we will not be able to continue the level of service that we have had for the last 15 years and that we are required by law to fulfill. We have created 3 positions in the sheriff's office since I took over. 2 positions in welfare fraud that were approved by this board, and 1 position, which is Tim Hand's lieutenant position, was also approved by this board. The fraud positions have proven already time and time again that they save this county money. Not only paying for the positions, but we make out way further ahead with cost avoidance and restitution. Tim Hand's position is funded by a Homeland Security grant anywhere from 50 to 90%. It depends on how much time he spends dedicating to those duties. And again, all 3 of those positions came to this board for approval before we instituted them. COVID destroyed the sheriff's office ability to recruit and hire personnel. We were in a very bad way for a lot of years. Sheriff Whitney tried to fill many vacant deputy positions. He was not able to do so, as over a span of 3 years, we only had 3 people that passed the deputy exam, and none of those 3 people passed the PT test, so they could not be appointed as a deputy sheriff. There was no way to promote deputies because we had nobody available to promote. And at the time, we were not allowed to offer an open competitive list for anyone outside to come to our agency. So in response to your concerns that deputies have been seen conducting patrol functions, my answer is yes, they do. They are police officers. When they are not fulfilling the below functions, and I will list all of them, or are in between responsibilities, they observe an infraction, they take action. That's not only something that they take initiative on their own, I expect them to do that. They are police officers and they're sworn to do their duty. This has been the practice in this office for the last 30 years, regardless of who the sheriff is standing up here. This is nothing new. The deputies perform these functions. They serve orders of protection for family and county court. They serve court orders for county and family court. They serve warrants for county, family, probation, and other courts. They serve mental health 945 pickup orders. They provide court security. They provide county infrastructure security. They serve civil paperwork. Per court orders, they conduct gun removals. Very dangerous, by the way. They serve pistol permit suspension notices. They serve TERPOs, which are temporary emergency restraining orders. They conduct evictions, which are also very dangerous these days if you're watching the news. Much of what we do requires 2 officers for safety reasons. It's a very dangerous time. The New York State Constitution, Article 8, Section 13, requires the sheriff to oversee these duties associated with civil process and enforcement of service of court orders. It's the law in New York State. It's not my option to choose to do it or not. So why is it important to fill these deputy vacancies? Lieutenant Graves provided me with a comparison over the last 3 years of increases in duties in the civil division. Papers served have increased 14.6%. Arrest, 56.3%. That includes warrants of arrest in summary arrests. Address verifications for sex offenders, a 185% increase in that responsibility. 90-day verifications, sex offenders again, 45% increase in duties in the last 3 years. Sex offender changes of status, 120% increase the last 3 years. Postings, which are for a myriad of reasons, they're a part of legal process, 183% increase. School checks, these are something we haven't done in the past. If I have an officer serving civil paper in Cuba and they're driving back to Belmont, they are directed to stop at the local school that they pass, in this situation it would be Friendship, and simply walk in and say, hey, how are things going? Do you have any security concerns? It's community policing. And I don't only ask them to do it, I require them to do it. We should be doing it in every community, in every school. It's the foundation of community policing, and that's what we're doing. Income executions, 15% increase. Orders of protection, 22.3% increase. Orders of protection plus gun removals, 38%. That is the single most dangerous thing that any of our officers will do, is show up at somebody's door, knock on it, and tell them, we got a court order, we're here to take your guns. We have 5 deputies right now that are eligible to retire. If all 5 retire this summer, we're right back to where we started with 8 vacancies. We will never catch up to the rate of attrition if we're not proactive in this area. Now let's discuss field training of new deputies. Every new deputy has to be trained in accordance with Department of Criminal Justice Services rules and regulations. So when we're training a new deputy, which we are right now, you will see them running traffic, radar, answering calls, responding to accidents, as it's required to do by New York State law. 400 hours are required for the field training and observation program. Every new deputy must complete that 400 hours to be certified in New York State. So let's discuss our programs and initiatives. ATAG, no cost, covered by a Homeland Security grant. Handle with Care, no cost. And again, more positive feedback from this program than anything we've ever done in this office. Cap Court, no cost from my office. It's not easy. We've taken on a lot of extra duties and responsibilities. It's more work for my people, but it costs this county nothing as far as we're concerned. But what it does do is it saves other departments. You don't have to call out a DA in the middle of the night. You don't have to call out a public defender in the middle of the night. You don't have to have probation show up in the middle of the night. It's created a monetary savings for all of the other agencies in the county, placing more burden on my office. But I believe it's the right thing to do, and that's why we're doing it. Tasers and body cams, they were obtained through a grant. I can't take credit for that. That was under Sheriff Whitney. That grant was written by Lieutenant Bigelow. We were able to obtain tasers and body cams at no cost to the taxpayer. DSS fraud, we undertook that, and we have seen a tremendous windfall in cost avoidance and restitution. We're over $500,000 in what we've recovered up to this point, and it continues to grow. Peer support, it's a part of our wellness program. There is no cost for this program, zero. The only cost is if we have to call a member of our peer support to come out for a critical incident, we would have to pay them their time. That is it. There's no cost for the program, none. DWI patrols covered by a New York State Stop DWI grant. Boat patrols reimbursed by New York State Parks and Recs. The MAT program, this is a state mandate requiring a medically assisted treatment that we provide drugs to opiate users. It is unfunded, and it costs a tremendous amount of money. We have offset these costs through a grant from ACASA, but it's a drop in the bucket. This is something I don't have a choice on, and when you see that line in the budget where we're paying this for medications, it's not because I choose to do it. It's because it's an unfunded mandate by New York State. The same for the HALT program, exact same. The Animal Abuse Registry, it's the right thing to do. I agree with it, I supported it, and I assisted Legislator Hanchett in making sure that we got this implemented. Costs us nothing, just time. We have one officer that is in charge of that. He updates the list as we get people to add to it. No cost. Our wellness program, covered by a grant. Our wellness equipment, covered by a grant. Brand new weight room, covered by this grant. The Sheriff's app, not one penny was paid by taxpayer dollars for that app. The drone was purchased through a grant. Nobody can argue that that wasn't a fantastic addition to this office, and again, I can't take credit for that. That was Sheriff Whitney. That was a fantastic addition. That has saved more lives and assisted more people in the field than pretty much any other program that we've initiated thus far. Grants, we're now at $14.6 million that we manage. All of that offsets costs to the taxpayer. That is a tremendous amount of money, a tremendous amount. That is done by Matt Evans and Dustin Zajac of our communications. We're now implementing some redundancies where we're going to have some other people that are actively involved to assist with grants. Part of the responsibilities of the new accountant are going to be for that. But that is a big deal. That money is not being paid by our taxpayers, $14.6 million, for required updates in infrastructure to our 911 system. It's a big deal. So regarding the comments about the 911 center in your email, and you're going to have to forgive me because I don't understand some of it. So from what I can gather, you have a concern that one station in the 911 center has a primary assignment of New York State Police. So your concerns are based apparently on a conversation that you had with Lieutenant Hanchett 10 plus years ago. I have no idea what arrangement was made back then. Frankly, I don't care. It has nothing to do with me and my office. First, just because a dispatcher has the primary responsibility of the New York State Police calls does not mean that that's their only function. They also answer other radio traffic, 7-digit phone lines, answer other 911 calls. 82% of 911 calls that come into our center are law enforcement generated calls, 82%. And I'll give you a further breakdown of those calls. But less than 50% of those calls are state police calls. The rest are attributed to the sheriff's office and to local police departments. The breakdown is 82% law enforcement, 12% EMS, 6% fire. Of that 6% of fire, approximately 2% is false alarms. Our center handles more than 50,000 calls a year. At peak times, 4 dispatchers is not enough. Due to our structure and redundancies, we go down 1 dispatcher, we can fully function without having to replace that person in some circumstances. If there's a critical incident or other significant event, then we must replace that dispatcher. We pay attention, we don't unnecessarily fill shifts. This is a supervisor oversight function. In response to the email that the sheriffs want to control dispatching because they control who gets what calls as they're elected, especially if they have a road patrol or would like to have a road patrol, end quote. This is probably the most dishonest statement in your email. Very dishonest. There's never been one time that a call was diverted to members of my office for the purpose of my getting reelected or because I have some secret desire to form a road patrol. This comment is not only fraudulent, it's reckless, and it's a wild conspiracy theory. Do I think the 911 center should continue under the direction of the sheriff? Absolutely, 100% yes. As noted above, 82% of the call volume in our office, in the law enforcement dispatch office, is for law enforcement purposes. It stands to reason that a law enforcement agency would be responsible for the oversight of a center that handles predominantly law enforcement calls. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I can go on about other things that we've done to improve the center, including our recent accreditation, but we'll save that for another time. Now regarding Legislator Healy's statement that the county should sell the jail and build a smaller jail. First, the sheriff is obligated under the New York State Constitution, Article 8, Section 13, and the New York County Law, Section 650, to maintain a county jail. It's the law. I don't have a choice in the matter. New York State Correction Law, Section 500C, Section 5041A, also are directly relevant to the sheriff's responsibilities in maintaining a county jail. Even a little bit of research on building a new secure jail facility, you would see that the cost would be much more than we paid for the current jail. Even factoring the possible sale of the current facility, the county would still be in the hole financially and be looking at another 20 to 30-year bond. The major difference now is that you will not have any revenue coming in from that to offset your costs. The taxpayers will foot the entire bill. No revenue from housing in feds. If the revenue was applied from all of the years of housing in, this jail would have been paid off long ago. It was used for other purposes, okay, that's fine, but the revenue has already more than enough would have paid for this jail as it currently stands. It's very clear that there's not much research that went into these comments, and there's really no understanding of the process and the costs associated with this statement of closing the jail. There's a precedent for this in Schoharie County. The jail was closed between 2011 and 2020. The Commission of Correction did not allow them to reduce manpower. You heard that. They closed the jail for 9 years, and they were not allowed to reduce manpower. They were required to maintain the same level of staffing, and although they were housing out inmates, they were still required to provide medical care, expenses, and transport every inmate to and from court proceedings. And I'm assuming, based on what I'm reading, you haven't done a cost analysis of what closing the jail would look like, so I did that for you. If you use an inmate population of 50 to project future costs, it would cost the county $1.8 million a year to house out all of the inmates. When you factor in the loss of revenue from federal inmates, that amount goes to $2.4 million. Then we factor in the cost of officers to transfer to and from. We had personnel costs for 30 correction officers, and that's you're eliminating 50% of our corrections officer staff. Add $2.4 million to the $2.4 million, and we're at $4.8 million. If we add medical and medication costs, and being conservative, we'll be between $750,000 and $1 million. If you use the figure of $5.8 million and compare it to this year's total net jail budget, which is $5.998 million, after all of this, eliminating county jobs, closing the jail, you'd be saving the taxpayers $198,000. Seems to me pretty ridiculous trade-off. One thing you also have to remember is the State Commission of Correction must sign off on any inmates that are housed outside of our jail. So we have to get permission from the Commission of Correction to house someone out. They have already made it very clear that if that is for the purpose of closing a jail, they will not sign those orders, and it's a violation of law to allow them to go without that order. It cannot be done. By downsizing and reducing personnel, in the discussion of downsizing the dispatch center, we could lose or risk millions of dollars that we get in grants for 911 support. The cost to sustain the 911 center would then be passed on to the taxpayers. These comments, in your position, would cost the county a lot more money. I'm quite shocked, Mike, seriously, that you would advocate for this. It's a form of defunding the police. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. This approach has never worked in any community, rural, urban, or otherwise. I will tell you that your position is a slap in the face to every member of the sheriff's office. And I will tell you that most of them would prefer that you just said thank you for their service instead of eliminating their jobs. The members of the Deputy Sheriff's Union stand against you on this. We've had discussions. These comments have done nothing but strengthen my office and unify my staff, so for that, I guess I say thank you. Appreciate that. So whether you like it or not, the sheriff's office is not just a jail. We are required by law to maintain a jail. We are required by law to serve civil process. We must maintain a 911 center. I have and will continue to work within the confines of the budget that this board gave me. I give you monthly accurate accounting and reporting of everything we do. There is no smoke and mirrors here. There is no conspiracies. I have an open door policy. I'm available by text, email, or in person. I will add that every single legislator, every single one except you, Mike, has taken me up on that. They've either stopped me in the hall and asked me questions, they stop my office for a cup of coffee, they'll call me on the phone and say, hey, I heard this. Is there any truth to this? You're the only one that hasn't done that. My office has done an excellent job of continuing to build and evolve in every area of operations as a professional and efficient law enforcement agency. And at the same time, we continue to find grants and revenue sources to offset our costs in providing services to our residents. Our taxpayers deserve the highest level of service we can provide in the most efficient and cost-effective manner possible. I appreciate this board, and I appreciate the support from most of you. I really do. We must be unified if we truly believe that public safety is a priority in this county. I look forward to our continued partnership, and I'm hopeful that we'll continue to find solutions to all of these challenges we seem to face. That said, I am open to any questions from any of you on any topic regarding the sheriff's office and operations.
Sheriff,
Yep.
I'd like to address the 911 section. I was sheriff when we added the state police. We did not add a dispatcher. We took the calls with the same dispatch staff that we had before that. We just figured out that it was easier for the dispatchers if they were assigned certain areas. You know, if you got 4 dispatchers sitting in a room and a call comes in from a police department and 2 of them aren't busy, they're going to look back and forth, who's going to answer the call? By assigning a dispatcher to the local police, to the state police, to the fire, they know if the state police calls, this is the guy that's going to answer. We didn't add any positions. It didn't cost us anything. So I just wanted to make that clear because I was sheriff when we did that.
Okay. Other questions? Mr. Bissett?
Sheriff, was that email sent to you directly, or?
No, several members of this board made me aware of it, sent it to me.
Okay. This is first I've heard of this one.
I'll provide a copy to all of you.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's fine.
It was sent to all board members.
I don't remember seeing it, I'm sorry. I'd just like to remind you, Sheriff, that one board member does not speak for the entire legislature.
I appreciate that.
And Chairman, you know, if we're going to send something out to a department head or about a department, and I guess I'd kind of like to see it go through the chairman of the committee, so we do not have any of these detrimental, you know, incidents with the department heads that might not be what the total board, the board as a whole, feels is appropriate. I obviously do not feel the email was appropriate. I do not agree with the email. And you have accepted my invitation for a lunch at one time, and I appreciate that. And as you said, you've always been open, and I thank you for that.
Okay. Other comments and questions?
Just briefly, I'll respond to the sheriff there. First off, as you said, I've never come to your office, or no, that's not quite true. We've had discussions in the hall before, and I think I even had coffee one time down at your office. But so that's not completely accurate. I'm sorry that you took this personally.
Okay.
You
said I misled this board. That's very personal.
Well, I think maybe you're a little paranoid or something, but,
Seems like the rest of the people in the room agree with me, Mike.
well, yeah, there you go. The rest might be a lot of sheep. All I'm saying is that.
I can guarantee you one thing right now, Mr. Healy, I'm not a sheep.
All
Okay?
I'm
I'll tell you right to
saying
your
is,
face.
Ladies and gentlemen,
all I'm saying is
One at
our
a time,
job
please.
to be the watchdog of the taxpayers' money. Give them the services they need, not necessarily what everybody wants, because we can't afford it, even though I know people in Albany think we should just give everybody everything. And I think, some of your facts and figures might not be quite there. I don't know. I'm not going to go back through history, but I know one thing, that when the jail was built, they were telling everybody, we're making money there, and I went down and looked at the closing books at the end of the year, and they weren't making money. When you double the size of your workforce, and price of personnel goes up a lot faster than anything else, you do not make any money. They paid the bond, is what they paid down there, and that was it. And I'm not against the sheriff's department by any means. I spent 5 years there myself. That was my first place of employment in law enforcement. I always considered it my home. And I feel bad that a fellow legislator, I've had people chew on me about some of this stuff in the public, and I feel bad that a fellow legislator would feel necessary to ingratiate themselves to a law enforcement agency, and by forwarding that to you and not bringing it up to me personally, or having us all sit down together. So, thank you.
okay. Any other comments?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, go ahead, sir.
I'd appreciate if everybody on the committee or any other fellow legislators have an issue with any department, that we have plenty of opportunities through all our committees and cows and you name it, to discuss these issues. And they should be brought up long before it gets put out into an email that is forever, and it's going to reach the people you might not want to see it. So, appropriateness and professionalism goes a long way.
Thank you. Anybody else? Oh, Mrs. Hanchett.
Yes, I would like to thank you for being available when I've reached out. The tour was very eye-opening, even though we've done it before, and I appreciate all that you and your staff do. So, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? I don't want to cut anybody off. Anybody needs to speak, needs to speak. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Sir, were you going to introduce your team?
Sheriff, there's a request for you to introduce your crew.
This is command staff. My success is directly due to all of them. This is Lieutenant Craig Plaisted, the Assistant Jail Administrator. Major Chris Ivers, the Jail Administrator. First Sergeant Eric Smith, in charge of training and personnel. Lieutenant Tim Hand, our Emergency Management Lieutenant. Lieutenant Matt Graves, who's also in charge of the 911 Center and Civil Department. Matt Evans, who's our Senior Communications Supervisor. And Dustin Zajac, who is also Communications Tech. And Under Sheriff Walt Mackney.
Well done. Okay, thank you very much. Moving on with our agenda, we have something from the clerk of the board.
Yes, the Traffic Safety Board has requested that the board reappoint the following to a 3-year term on the Traffic Safety Board commencing January 1st, 2026 and expiring December 31st, 2028. Scott Cicerello, Ray Parlett, and Melinda Rounds. In addition, they have requested that the board consider appointing Timothy Hand of Angelica to replace Sean Grusendorf and Scott Grantier of Belmont to replace Linda Edwards for that same 3-year term. If the committee desires to make these appointments and reappointments, please have a motion to that effect included in the minutes.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Whitney will move.
Thank you. Thank you. Discussion on this. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That is carried.
Thank you.
We're down to unfinished business. I see that the county administrator had to step out, so we will skip the building security and we'll deal with that next month. Do we have any new business? Well, first of all, do we have any other unfinished business that anybody wants to address? Okay. Any new business? Okay. I will take a motion for adjournment, please.
Whitney will move.
Thank you, sir. Second?
Second.
Thank you.